It's music and it's local, homegrown on New Zealand's Rhema.
All right, back on Homegrown. Of course, we're joined tonight on the show, in the studio and all that sort of stuff by Mercy's Calling. We've got Dan, Carl and Benji in the studio right now. So the EP that you've done, did you record this on gear at home, or how'd you get that done?
I'd previously been with a group, and we had used OMAC facilities there in Otar, and we had a few connections within that studio there. Some of us are students, some of us have all right jobs, but we knew we could go in there and lay a few tracks down. So just pretty much over probably an 8-hour period, we had time to go in there, and we laid those 3 tracks down.
Cool.
And so we had the opportunity. Yeah, it was good.
So that works out well. I mean, I've done that before, where you go in and sort of try and utilise, like you have a set period of time, 8 hours or whatever it might be, and you kind of go, all right, well, what can we do? We get as much done as we can. Did you do lots of practice and pre-prep before you went in? Yeah,
we had a few gigs around that time as well, so we needed to be prepared and ready for that anyways. So it was kind of just go in there. I literally think the band would go in and play it once just to warm up, and then we'd go back and lay the vocals, and we may go 2 times through and be like, yeah, it's time for the next song. So we didn't have much time in there at all.
So what's it like for you guys, like obviously jamming the songs out quite a bit and playing them first, particularly you, Carl, jumping around from bass to keyboards and all that sort of stuff, and then going into the studio, do the songs change much from when you first start playing them to when you actually recorded them?
Oh, they're always changing. Every single practice, there's something that someone would add, a little finicky bit. It's usually me on the keyboard that changes things, or Bowers with his drums. But it's great because every different thing that we add makes it better as well. Sometimes, most times.
It's like music is a life of its own, doesn't it? So it is fluid. It's not something that you write a song and it stays that way and it stays that way for always. Often it's going to tweak and change when you play live. Now here's an interesting thing for you, Carl, as the keyboard player. Are you familiar with an 80s rock tune, The Final Countdown?
I am.
One of the greatest keyboard sort of riffs of all time. Okay, so you play it quite often. Here's a bit of information for you that you might find quite interesting and why keyboardists should always be valued. The guy who wrote that riff was a fill-in keyboard player who came into the studio just to play some backing keyboards for them. He wasn't in the band or anything. And they said he just sat down while they were doing it and he goes, oh, why don't we do this? And he wrote that bit, put it in there. And they said to him, okay, do you want a flat fee now, or do you want to slice the royalties? Now, looking at you guys, you know a little bit about music industry. What do you go for? Royalties. You go for royalties because you never know if a song could take off. He said flat fee, got paid $200. $200 for the most recognisable keyboard riff in history.
All right.
That is still making the rest of the band lots and lots of money.
Who was the band, you know?
Europe was the band, and I don't know who he was, the guy who played it, the keyboard player. So he came in, did the session work on there, got paid $200, went off, and the rest is history.
Nice work.
That's inspirational to me as a keyboard player.
Well, particularly if you're writing little bits and pieces, you know, and it changes the song and it adds to the hooks to it. I mean, that's one of the most famous hooks of all times in a song, and that song would be nothing without it.
I usually put a little bit of things here and there, and they get angry at me. So
would be in the middle.
So from now on,
middle of a practice, and he'll just bust into something random, just to keep us going.
Like the final countdown.
Well, I always liked that. I used to have a guitarist friend who, in the band, one of the bands I was in, he always used to break into a particular Ben Harper song, like in between any song. As soon as we stopped one song to a little break to go to the next one, he would always dun 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 dun. That was every single time. So I can relate to that. And everybody, we all have a different songs. What song is the song that you play when you're bored or you want to throw a song in just because you like playing it?
Well, I can't play anything right now. So I just sing. They're all very good at what they do. And
so you're the one who's fighting against them having their little bits.
I try to keep them focused, and just say, hey, it's time to practice, But we always have a good laugh though.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
One of my favourite songs to play out of ours would be the track "No Dead of Man," just because it's a distinct sound. I think that not many Christian bands have. It's because of the deep tuning. That's why I can't play it very often, because it's all.
Yes, you got to tune your guitar, tune everything differently. Yeah.
Weirdly, so I usually have to have a second guitar for that. But that, and probably a track that's not actually it's not. I know it's not on that, but we're hoping to get recorded properly. Would be a song called "My Testimony."
Cool.
Hard to explain. It's just me and my girlfriend actually wrote that song and really really like playing that, performing it live, and those would be personal favourites of mine.
All right, we're going to listen to No Dead of Man right now. What's the song about?
One time I was just sitting around at home, and for some reason I tend to get a bit of writer's block. I sit at home and I can write a riff or a little lick and think, make a song out of that, but then I kind of get stuck. That's where I go to Matthew and say, can you write the rest of the song for me?
Yeah.
And so I just had the opening riff that you'll hear, and Matthew essentially took it to what it is now, and then he wrote the rest of the music, came to me and said he wanted to get the melody and the lyrics down.
Yeah.
So I wrote the lyrics and the melody for it, and I wanted to, when I started out, before I even had any of the lyrics, I was kind of, the idea of how the flow was going to go was basically getting the message across of nothing we can do is payable for what Jesus did for us on the cross.
Absolutely.
And that's why the title is No Debt of Man. It's just nothing we can do, no debt, no matter how big we have, is comparable to what he paid for us.
Absolutely.
As Benji likes to describe sometimes when we're doing it live, he says that before we play it, that no matter how big any of the debts are of people out there, that nothing can compare.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what the lyrics start out in the song
Brilliant.
that you'll hear.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to listen to it right now. Here it is, No Dead of Man from Mercy's Call.
Compared to what was paid for me, I owe my life to you, 'cause that's what you paid for me. Help me, Lord, to see these things are not by me. When I succeed, I all because of all you've done.
Mercy's Calling with No Dead of Man here on New Zealand's Rhema. That's right, we're talking to Mercy's Calling. We'll be back again shortly to talk more about the future of Mercy's Calling and what they want to do.